Okay, I'm back. Oh, you guys missed me so much that I decided to make a second video not even 5 minutes after I recorded my introduction. I know, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at the commitment. Let's see how long this lasts, guys. Challenge. Let's see how long this channel could last. Um, what did I want to talk about today? I guess for my first real talk, I guess I talk about figuring out what to do. Figuring out where you are, what you're doing, who you are, what you are, if you will. Sorry, I just got a notification. I didn't mean to do that. Um, I've struggled with this topic myself, and I'm not 100% certain that I know the answers. But I could speak from experience. I could speak from who I am and what I am, and speak with what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. Oh my God, I got something in my eye again. Okay. Um, yeah. I find it hard a lot of the times to think about the question, what am I doing and who am I doing it for? Why am I doing this? Or when can I do something? I'd consider myself a dreamer or like an aspirer, someone who endeavors, someone who yearns to do something. Like David Lynch said, like I yearn for dreams and stuff like that. Um, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes my dreams don't come true. Sometimes the things I work hard for or yearn for don't really come true. And I used to take chips on my shoulder all the time, like thinking like, oh man, like my life is over now. Like I'm not gonna like this is the worst thing to happen to me. But then I started to realize that like it's just a way for me to like grow from that. The way I think about it is like the game Spore. I know this is gonna sound corny, but a missed opportunity to get food in one place can get you food in abundance in another place. And that's what I figured out. Like for example, I got into a school that I wanted to go to, and but I only got in for my sophomore year as a transfer student. So I had to go to a school that I really wasn't keen on. And I went into the school. I was miserable. I was really miserable. Mentally, physically, whatever. I was miserable there. But then I just realized I have to, persevere. I have to push through, and then I'll be back. I'll be back better than ever in a place where I actually enjoy being. So I transferred over, and I'm happy. I'm happier than I ever was. I still have issues. I still have things that I'm not 100% on. But yeah, I just realized that the power of waiting is something that supersedes all, I guess. Um, you know, Today, for example, I wanted to get breakfast at some place, but then I realized it was like 10 o'clock. So I was like, do I want to go there? Um, and then I realized I might just wait for like an hour or an hour and a half, and I could get like an early lunch somewhere instead. And I did that, and my lunch was very good. Thank you for asking, everyone. My lunch was very good. Um, and yeah, it's the power of waiting and the power of knowing that your opportunity can come later. Um, Now, on the topic of what you want to do in life, um, that's for you to decide. I'm not going to decide anything. I'm not going to decide anything for you because that's for you to decide. I find it hard personally. I found it hard. I still find it hard to figure out what I want to do in my life, um, because sometimes it feels like so much is happening around you, and then also at the same time it feels like nothing is happening around you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why nothing is going on. There's like a cacophony, like a cognitive dissonance going on in your head where you're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes it interlocks like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do, and then blah, 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 blah. Whatever. That's not the point. That's not the point. Um, yeah, no, I struggle with figuring out what I want to do, not only in my career, but in like creative outlets that I want to do. So like for my YouTube channel, I never thought that I was going to do a video diary, like a video thing like this. I wanted to do a video essay, but things fell through with me and my planning. I took the MCAT, so I had to take time off for that. Um, and then I was lost, and then I don't know what I want to do with my like creative point of view. Like, do I want to stream games? Do I want to focus on YouTube videos? I make music too, you know, I have to balance all of that, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna balance that all out. But I figured out that it's okay to not know what you want to do, no matter how big or how small the issue may be. And it may be something really small, like what I'm gonna have for breakfast or for lunch, or it could be what I'm gonna do with my life. You know, is the life of I don't know, is the life of a business major really gonna work out for me? You know, am I gonna be happy with my life? I think that the main thing that people should look at in their life is if they're gonna be happy, and um, that's something that I've started to understand pretty recently, that my happiness should come first, because I've had an issue where I did some stuff that I didn't want to do because I wanted to make other people happy. I consider myself a people pleaser. Some people consider me a pushover. Some people call me a doormat. Um, but in my heart, I feel like my purpose in life is to help people. It's to make people laugh, to make people smile. It's to make people feel good, to make people feel like oh, they're having a good time, you know, like at a comedy club, or like at a restaurant, or wherever. You know, I think the purpose that I've found in my life is to make people happy, you know, whether that be like health wise or like emotionally wise, you know, like oh, like I'll tell a funny joke or something. You know, I like doing that. I like helping people, and I think that's the way I want to go. But I didn't always think of it that way. I used to want to do stuff for me, and I thought that would make me happy, but then I realized that seeing other people be happy from me made me happy. And I think this is getting sidetracked, but it's it was, in retrospect, I was in a flurry, I guess. I was in like an emotional flurry. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I didn't know how I was gonna act. But then I figured it out. I figured it out. Um, so for the people on the screen, whoever decides to watch this, hold on, let me take a water break. For the people that watch this, um, I'm sorry if I went off topic a bit, but I guess to sum it all up, it's okay to be lost. I sure as hell was lost some points in my life, a lot of points in my life. And there's a lot of points in where I thought, "Yep, this is me. This is where I'm gonna be right now." And then I get lost again. I feel like life is like a form of push and pull, like a tug of war. Sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're not, and the entire deal is so that the pulling and the pulling in both directions evens out, so no one moves an inch. Um, and it's okay. It's fine. It's okay if you're teetering off one and falling back from another, or whatever. I don't know what I just said, but that's fine. And sometimes if you're lost, you think crazy thoughts, like you get paranoid or you get scared. And I'm not going to tell you not to be scared and not to be paranoid, because that is probably one of the worst things to do, because I tell you not to do that and I don't tell you how not to do that, you know? Realistically, you shouldn't be scared or you shouldn't be paranoid, but I would be lying to say that I am not a scared and sometimes paranoid and always nervous individual. I am, and I think that's fine. In moderation. In moderation. As long as you don't make it a detriment to other people, then I think that's fine. And I have an issue with that because sometimes I'm not able to converse with people correctly because of the way that I'm feeling. And that's something that I'm working on. I'm not gonna lie about that. Um, but yeah, people feel weird when they're lost or when they're confused, and I know that. I know that. um, Finding yourself is important. Knowing what to do is important, but you shouldn't go out of your way to do whatever it takes to find it, because at in the long run, it'll find you. It'll find you. That's just the way that it is. That's literally the way that it is. And yeah, I struggle a lot with finding myself or who am I really. And I think it's nice to talk about this. So maybe in a few months or like a year, I'll be able to go back onto this, watch all of this, and be like, oh, that was me. That was me in the camera. And I could reflect on what I said and what I learned and who I am a year from now, or like 6 months from now, or hell, even like a week from now. Like, oh man, like, was I really thinking that? Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's nice. It's cool. It's not posh. I don't know if is posh a good word? Is posh a bad word? Is it like a good word to describe something, or is it like a negative term to describe things? I think it's like obnoxious or like nose up. I think that's like a synonym of it. Um, but yeah, and for anyone that watches this video and didn't get anything from it, I'm sorry. This is just a rambling from me. And if you learned something from it, or if you took some of the stuff that I say to heart, you're welcome. You're welcome. That'd be $5. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, but yeah. And if whoever's watching this does feel lost, like they don't know what to do, who they are, blah blah blah, just remember, I was in that boat, and if you're watching this video, I might be in that boat. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. I'm pretty confident in what I'm doing right now. I'm pretty confident. So yeah, that's all she wrote. Um, Instagram and Twitter and Twitch are gonna be in the description. If you want, if you want to follow those, give me a holler. I might be streaming when you're watching this. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, that's I guess that's all she wrote. So I'll do my iconic bye bye. Ta ta. Ta ta. All right, one last one. Ta ta.